Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of the Backyard Sportscenter podcast. I am Natastic28. Today I am along with Wizard and the lovely Jibbo Exotic.
Yeah, Jibbo Exotic. That's the theme I'm running with right now. We'll see how long this lasts for. How you doing, Wizard?
Howdy, partner. Doing all right. Glad to see you've got a couple weeks under your belt now.
Yeah, we're really starting to hit our stride.
I've been a believer.
Thank you. Yeah, we need believers. If we're gonna really make this dream happen, we're gonna need the whole rBBL to conspire to help me get to the playoff.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't help you out with that. If I did that in week 1, people would be calling conspiracy theories and everything right away. So
yeah,
had to avoid that just with being a league admin and everything.
Yeah, you have to keep some integrity there, but definitely gonna start bribing other teams to get Ivan King into the playoffs. And I mean, I could pay my way right into that World Series. We'll have to see.
We'll get the union involved.
Mm-hmm.
How is the union, by the way?
I think it's good.
You'd like to know.
Yeah, we can't tell you.
Well, I would like to know if there's major issues or stuff.
It's every day is another major issue. We just constantly putting out fires there. No, I think
most recent order of business, the April Fool's debacle.
Yep, April Fool's Day. We helped out with that. That was orchestrated. I think it was mostly orchestrated by Yuria, and I just passed along the information. But I think most people knew already. That was funny.
That was pretty cool.
Crazy Eights just doesn't wake up early enough, and the whole chat was out of control. I think we confused a few people. Pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. People were changing their names, and there was someone said that changed their name to Ivan King. Even Mello changed his name to Courtney.
Yeah, the role playing has gotten. Yeah, we're at another level, man. We'll be cosplaying by season 11.
Honestly, I've always wanted. I think it'd be nice to divide the divisions based on kind of some of those themes. I think it'd be really fun for the league. I've always thought it'd be fun to have a little streamer division, but I mean, like a full-on cosplay division would be absolutely hilarious. I think
it would be, yeah, comical.
I definitely wouldn't do it, but I could see some real funny stuff coming from that as well.
Simulstream division?
Yeah, simulstream division. You could do like a drinking division, Wizard and a silver bullet.
Toast and Chris.
Yeah. I think you get a whole division there, like 5 or 6 of you guys just
we just call it the drunk.
Yeah, beer division. You have to drink during your game.
Yeah, that would be really an entertaining season if that was the case.
You got to push for it. That's definitely something that's on my lobby list. The list of things I'm going to be lobbying. I'm starting to get in people's ears right now.
Yeah, enough people, put it in the survey, and then, I think that's what Crazy always says, put it in the survey. So if enough people put it in the survey, then we ought to do it, right?
Yeah, definitely need to get troops on the ground. What is it called?
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta really just spread the word about all the things that I want for changes in the league.
That's it.
We're removing the the swing spot, because we don't play baby baseball. We're playing real man baseball. No robots. And then what else am I advocating for? I think that's pretty much it. I can get rid of
full stream.
I'll be happy. What's that? Full stream?
I think full stream is I've talked to Nate a little bit about it. I would be a strong advocate for that. Yeah,
me too. I think we're in the year 2021. We're in the future now. We can stream. It does make sense, like, if someone's at such a weird time that nobody can watch. If a 50 is scored in the woods, and nobody's there to see it, does it really happen? So if no one's there to watch your stream, I don't know, maybe then you have to record and stream. But I was hoping there'd be something like that Craig recording Discord thing, but for video. So it would just be like constantly monitoring and recording one of the channels. Maybe I could set that up even on another computer. But yeah, that's I'm full on for the stream. And even if we have to, maybe a streaming division, it's just more.
We'd have enough to do that for sure. I think we're probably about half, or maybe even slightly over this year or this season.
Yeah, in general, seasons usually start out people streaming a lot, and then kind of as the hype dies down, people do a little bit less as you start getting out of playoff contention or whatnot. But yeah, it'd be really, really, really fun.
I think the one, I'm speaking of weird hours, I think you might have to make a Marco rule or something, because
we just need another Australian.
For that, you need to have some marketing in Australia.
Yeah, I need to do some real targeted marketing. I'll go on Facebook, see who likes backyard baseball and is also from Australia, and just get in their ear,
Yeah, and then just find everyone on Facebook and Twitter and all the social medias. Find every single person that likes backyard baseball and just send them the Discord links. It's just spam everyone.
And then we kick them all out except for the one that we choose to be our other Australian. And Marco gets a pick too, or gets to decide as well. It'd be kind of like a dating show, I imagine, an Australian backyard baseball dating show. But you're picking your Australian partner, Marco. I hope Marco listens to this one.
That would be extremely entertaining.
And who knows? Maybe he'll find true love.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn it into a dating show streamed on Backyard Sportscenter.
Exactly. We can always pivot.
Yeah. More content, the better. That's what one of the things I've been kind of briefly bringing up is, just be really cool if turn kind of just putting up all this kind of content, even if it was about IRL sports, backyard sports leagues, whatever else random stuff we want to do at some point. Just put out as much content about as much stuff as we can.
Impossible. It's hard to keep up with just how much has happened in the 10 seasons. Just the amount of hilarious or monumental moments over the past 10 seasons. A lot of it is in the fandom or whatever. Thanks to Crazy Eight's dedication as a scribe for the league. And it's when someone asks oh, what are some fun moments? I can't. It's impossible to name them all. It would take 100 hours just go through all the stuff that led up to where we are now. I don't know if you agree with me there, Wizard. You've been here for a while as well.
Even just the changes since I've been in the league have been so crazy. I mean, and really, I think in between 8 and 9 is when we started to see it, and obviously the implementation of the online league. The community has grown immensely even since I've been here in season 5. It's been really cool to see.
Because I think Jibbo, your first season was season 3, right?
So that was me and Oops. That was our first season, and I had a really poorly drafted team, and that was oh, okay, so the draft is pretty important, and the ball stats are all a lie, and I kind of knew that, but I drafted a little bit with my heart and not with my brain that time, and it showed. So it was super fun regardless, and we were very not naive, but we just did not have the same tools and resources and research we do now. So it was a little bit wild west and discovering who these superstar generics were. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I think the next season grew almost to 24 maybe players, and then from then on it was full league, and has been that since.
Yeah, just the kind of the growth. It seems every season it's been some form of growth, either in knowledge or player base or both.
Yeah, it's come to the point where we don't even Iria and Crazy 8, they don't even recruit, I guess. We used to kind of send out messages on Reddit or something hey, sign up or whatever, but now you open up the signups on the Discord and all, you're full a couple days or whatever. So now that we have even up to 2 leagues is kind of crazy as well.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's 1.5 full leagues, and then obviously we've got some doubled up folks, but I mean, it's a lot of coaches, and we had a couple fall out, but that's always to be expected. So I'm really curious to see if we maybe even run 2 full leagues next season.
I mean, I'm surprised we're keeping up with it. Maybe they can add on, Nate, you guys could add on a couple more mods, help out with some of the stats or whatever. But yeah, it's a lot. And the thing is, every team is fun to watch. It's really fun to follow everyone's streams and stuff like that. It's just during the week, it feels like, or at least after working hours, is someone is playing at all times, and you can watch, and funny things happen. And this game is always so unpredictable. So, I try to view the people as much as I can, but it's a lot to keep up with. We need to start hiring journalists and full-time full-time teams to cover this whole league.
Well, that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, was to be able to record and talk about all the different games and teams and leagues and everything that's been going on.
Speaking of which, Wizard, how are your teams doing?
We finished strong in our 03 league. We're 4-3 in the hunt. All three of our losses coming one run or less. We had two maybe decimal losses and a 1-run loss, and then we're 5-2 at the top of our division in 01. So first half Wiz is alive and well, and I look forward to finishing 7-7 in both leagues.
What was the grade I gave you? Do you remember?
I feel like you're always pretty generous to my teams. I think you really liked one of my teams. Did you do both leagues?
I did.
I don't remember what. I got like a B, which was super high for that stream, and one of my leagues.
I was in the mood. I was in a certain mood, so
it was great. It was spicy Jibbo. I was here for it.
It was very spicy. There's a lot of attitude coming from me, I think, for good reason. But I probably gave... Who's on your 01 team? Because I know your 03
01 is... it was probably Davey when you did it, but it's Juan Gonzalez, Sammy Sosa, Sonia, Hagen,
I think I
Holly Franklin.
Yeah, that's a great team, because I grade teams with a pretty big bias on like what I would like to have for my team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably, because that sounds like a team I would want to have, and I love Holly Franklin. So,
me too. Gosh, she is. I have nothing. Her and then Sheila Basanti this year, who I actually sent to the All-Star game. Both of those kids are just so unbelievable to me. It's a good bat with pop, gap to gap power, and great speed.
Yeah, I remember Holly just had the clutch gene or something. She just always will hit it right over the infield, but right before the outfielders.
So Nate, we're looking at are we looking at any weeks this week, or?
No, not necessarily. I mean, unless Jibbo wants to get into some of the 03 league stuff.
I could talk about my team a little bit if you'd like. If you'd like to hear about their story.
Yes, we would love it.
Yeah, so this all comes from my own hubris, a failure because of that. Not a failure, but I don't think the situation I put myself in is entirely my fault. I picked somewhere early in the draft because I was going to do the Hanshin Tigers again, a Mighty Tigers season, which would have been electric since the World Baseball Classic was on and Japan won it. So, a Japanese themed team once again, and it all relies on one player, Ichiro, right? So I grabbed like the 4th or 3rd pick, which is not Ichiro territory, right? And I was like, I'm going to move back a little bit to make my team a little bit stronger because I'm a savvy tradesman. I'm a great drafter. So I literally I'm usually very honest with people that I'm asking to trade with or whatever. And I went to the first 3 people and was like, hey, you get an Ichiro? And they're all like, nope. And I was like, great. And I was like, okay, I moved back, so I can move back. Or like I know that 4th is going to get to the Ichiro. I asked the 5th person after me, are you getting Ichiro? Well, I actually didn't ask exactly like that. I said, are you getting one of these players? And I showed like a list of 12 players and, the top 12, but not Ichiro. And they said, no, my pick isn't in there. I was like, wait, what? And then they said, yes, actually, I'm picking one of those. I was like, okay, great. Moving on. And then, I asked 6 and I asked 7. And then I was like, okay, I'll trade up to 8 or whatever. I don't know who I traded with to get a couple spots, in the second round. But lo and behold, that 4th pick comes around and they pick Ichiro. And so I'm in shambles, naturally. I think, considering just giving up the league, deleting all my accounts or whatever. But so all the stuff I had prepared, like all the graphics and stuff from the previous seasons and all the chants and everything, I was just going to reuse those. So then I kind of had to scramble and come up with a new idea. I don't know if I had tossed this idea around or maybe I mentioned it to you, Wizard, but it was like that getting Ivan King, just like a team where everything kind of builds up to picking the worst possible player at the end. It's kind of like a little shocker.
The Alpha and the Omega, I think, is what you said.
Yeah, so the idea was Alpha and Omega, and the Alpha being Pablo, and then the Omega in the end would be Ichiro. So, like, the number one highest, most regarded player, and then the stinkiest, poopiest player in Ivan King. And that was the idea. And unfortunately, an 8 spot is not a great spot for Pablo either. He's
he's like 12 to 17.
Yeah, he's just so, like, and it's even worse because what I was doing was like, all right, I'll just pick Pablo and Ivan and I'll fill in the gaps. But Ivan and Pablo can't be near each other on the field, or like they can't be in critical positions because Pablo's so short and Ivan is so terrible. So yeah, Ivan the Terrible. So like designing that defense was very challenging, and I sort of started off picking players who I thought could get on base so Pablo could hit them home to get RBIs with Pablo and just be like, let's just get a juiced up Pablo stat season. And then I eventually just kind of worked my way into a corner and picked a pretty poor team in my opinion. And then my theme was Mighty Tigers for Frosted Flakes. We were going to just be like Tony the Tiger themed. And I did that for the first 2 weeks. I emailed Kellogg's and asked them if I can get like a poster or something. And they said no. And they like told me to go to their shop. And they didn't have anything good there. And I was like, well, that's not going to help me out. So we lost our first 2 pretty poorly or pretty badly. And then I started changing themes, new tiger themes. Going to a Voodoo Tigers, which was like some movie about a tiger and a voodoo tribe from the 50s. That was hilarious. And then finally we got to Tiger King, which just makes so much sense, right? Like that should have been the what I did the whole time, like Tigers and Ivan King. Like that makes so much sense. So I do that theme and I get the win, and we're 1-5, and then we keep that theme for the next week, and now I'm 2-5, and that's I think pretty remarkable for the roster that I have. And we're really excited to win our next 7 games after this playoff break and make the playoffs. So with the morale couldn't be higher. I think we went from maybe the lowest low of my career after getting Ichiro sniped, to maybe the highest high where I've kind of assumed this identity as Jibbo Exotic with with this Tigers team. So that's the story of my team. We're 2-5 and hoping to make the playoffs here, make a playoff run.
Yeah, you have a tough task in Week 8 though, facing the 6-1 humongous Marlins and Personizzle. So that's going to be a real tough one for you.
You know if that's home? I must be.
It's away.
I must have a home and away with them, right?
You do. Yeah, you play Week 14 at home against them.
Okay, so at home I think I have a pretty good chance at Ekman. I think a lot of people don't know how to play there as well. It's just like a different field to play on, and people can get kind of stifled sometimes and not be able to get past that starting pitcher or whatever. So if I play at Ekman, I always feel like I have a chance. And yeah, if I'm away, I mean, I'll probably just lose, I guess, that game. That's the way, unless Personizzle loses harder. So we'll see. I think my toughest games were probably going to be Mellow, and I already played those. So those are done with. I got those 2 losses out of the way. So I think the rest of the season hopefully not be as tough.
It does seem like that the Marlins have been kind of struggling at home because they've scored a 1, a 2, and a 7 at home.
Brings me hope. I can score 1 or 2. 7's a little tough, but
you could even score 3 and 4.
Yeah, I could do it. I think I figured it out a little bit, how to make my team work. So work as in like get more than 5 runs. That's what working is for us. So we got a chance. We've got a chance. That's all I need.
4-7 at home in the back half too. So that's encouraging.
And you get to have revenge against the Wombats at home. And Marco.
Yeah, probably going to do better that game. His team is so good on cement. Really shut me down.
Backyard's still wide open. I mean, there's a lot of people in the mix there.
There's 3 teams. The top of the backyard league East is a 3-way tie at 4-3. And then there's 3 teams that have a 3-4 record, and then 3 teams with a 2-5 record. So it's kind of like, a couple things here and there everything can get totally messed up.
Absolutely. There's the chaos in front of me. It's just like Mario Kart. I'm in the back, so I'm going to get all the nice special abilities. And then while everyone in front of me knocks each other out, I'm going to sneak into that wild card spot.
You're going to get all the aluminum power bats, and Ivan's going to hit all the home runs.
I don't know how they hit home runs, apparently, except with Pablo.
Yeah, I think Pablo and Ivan are the only ones that have hit home runs.
It's not like I don't swing power with Robert Young either, but I haven't had a good game with him yet. We're due for some hitting.
And you got Kate O'Toole, which is one of my the Vladimir Guerrero clone, one of my favorite players for this rBBL format.
How do you hit with her? Do you hit liners, grounders,
line drive most often?
I hit line drive. Yeah,
I mostly do that. I actually do mostly grounder with her now that I think about it, just get her on base. But it's been tough. I haven't been able to be too successful with anyone except Pablo.
It's his team. Well, him and Ivan's,
Yeah,
you said.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you said you weren't gonna put them next to each other, but they play kind of next to each other. Has that had any adverse effects on the defense there on the right side?
I don't get to watch my games as much, but the ones I have, Ivan eventually stops going for the ball, so it kind of is nice. And so he hasn't been ruining plays as much. If he was a fast, aggressive player, it would be a nightmare. But since he kind of just sits there at second base, it's been okay. And Pablo's in right field, just from advice from Emery. Shout out to Emery, 2-time champion, because he said that you really can't put him in the infield, and he really just belongs in right field because there's nowhere else. That's kind of where you can hide him.
How sad that he gets relegated out there as one of the GOATs.
I know. It's just unfortunate, the height issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's why error's off, That's
Oof.
We tried that. It's awful. It's the worst.
It's extra hard mode.
It makes it harder, but it also makes it so less interesting because you just kind of have to hit grounders or homers, and anything in the field is everyone's just too good, and the drafting is pointless almost for defense. So you got to have the errors on. Even though the teams I play never get those, I don't know. I've never seen teams I play ever drop the ball, so I don't know what goes with that.
It's because you're on super hard mode.
That's right.
How much better do you think Pablo would be if he was even a 2 height?
He would be a lot better in rBBL, but I think he would be a little worse in the online league because that pitching zone is impossible to pitch to in the online league. Yeah, but in the rBBL, height is so important for whatever reason. It was very underrated for years, but now people are starting to catch on.
Some people are even saying that we should change some of the generics so that they're not all 2 height.
Yeah, I'm all for changing up generics or whatever. After 10 seasons or 7 seasons of drafting from this draft pool, I don't think it would be that crazy to mix it up and just kind of change up some players or whatever. Make it a little spicy, spice it up, So we've had a new custom every year, which is neat, but it'd be nice if everyone could get a new quote unquote custom or new player styles or whatever to mix in with the pool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. There's a lot of different things that we've kind of been throwing out there, had ideas with, but now we actually know that we can do that. It's just kind of getting everyone to agree on on what the changes are going to be.
You guys just gotta just do something, Well, what's just make the changes and just surprise us. I think that'd be fun. and because I don't think everyone's ever gonna agree on those kind of changes, just because there are so many options. It's almost just be surprise, happy birthday, everybody. Jerry Winchell is now a 90 speed.
He's a first rounder. He's already like a third rounder.
Yeah, I don't even mind that. Like even getting some of these guys in the first round or like completely nerfing people. Like, oh, looks like, guess what, everyone? Whitney Singh, she is now a 0 in coordination. Be like, oh, okay, now where does she go in the draft now? I think that would be fun.
I think that makes the most sense too, because you don't have to add generics. You'll shake up the draft stock just by, changing a few little things. Like Goodfellow, if you make her a 5 height, is she a first rounder?
Definitely. But I will never pick her that early because I am scared of slow players. I don't know why. But when I look back at who I've had most success with, it's like these slow, 100 power hitters, and I'm like, that's a 9th rounder. I don't know why. It's hard to pick someone who's slow.
Maybe once we get another like season or so of the online league, we can give everyone a B file or a competitive mod that just changes some of that stuff and just throws everything up.
Yeah, now that's a big possibility with online play. We've had that huge update announcement for Backyard Sports Online. We Nate, as you know, we've merged essentially with the Scum VM main team. So me, Question Monkey, and Little Cat can help out. I guess we're now are part of the Scum VM team. And Backyard Sports Online in general is part of Scum VM now. We are basically in charge of all the Backyard Sports Online accessibility and servers and everything. So huge, exciting news, and we're going to have support for years and years to come with that. Now it's not necessarily just hinged on whether or not we all have time and the know-how to do everything. So we're really excited about that, and it brings the Mac players in, and Android even, and like Raspberry Pi or Debian or something. If you're getting that. So now, Mac players who every time we get someone come in, just like, does this work for Mac? We're like, not really. And they get disappointed and leave. Those people are going to be staying to play some Backyard Sports Online. We're just really excited. And Season 3 is starting, and we've had a ton of signups already. I'm sending out a big newsletter soon to kind of update everyone on these things. And, we also have ranked play for football and baseball. So a little ELO ranking system for people to do if they don't want to commit to a full season. They can compete with other people, try and get the highest ratings and be on top of our leaderboards. So a lot of really fun stuff for Backyard Sports Online. And we had a little bit of a lull as we were trying to migrate everything, but now it's really kicking back up full speed.
Yeah, I think this is, a really, really, really huge, accomplishment, especially everything that Little Cat's done. I know he had some connections with the people over at the main Scum VM that kind of wrapped this all kind of together. And I think even they reached out to him about possibly doing this, and just some of because a lot of times it's like, like you mentioned, when we had issues, it's like, so when can Question Monkey get off of work to try to fix this or whatever?
And, hopefully in future years from now, it's like a video game restoration project. So it's been around for 20 years, and they've had just tons and tons of team members and tons of experience. So hopefully, that'll help us out for the future, and this can be like a real long-term thing. And then, Lil Cat's working on other titles as well. I'm not gonna so he's Lil Cat's really been. I think it's very impressive, and I think Sev, who's the founder and the lead of Scum VM, has been pretty impressed and excited about this. So it really opens it up to kind of this new chapter of video game restoration, where in the past it was kind of like restoring the game and you emulate it and like you can play it, but you're missing out on that online functionality and those features that just kind of disappeared, almost as if it was like you had a full book that you were saving for history, but then like 3 or 4 chapters are just cut out and you'll never get those. Now those are kind of getting brought back, and it's really exciting for that community as well as, us Backyard Baseball fanatics. We get to play our fun, awesome game with each other instead of, simulating it through AI and like pseudo 1v1 games. We can kind of do it for real now.
Now, I have a couple of things, that I wanted to. I know some people with that kind of like are saying, oh, is there even a place for, rBBL or that kind of gameplay? And it's a totally different game style. And a lot of people, we've been doing this for 10 seasons now, and just because that online exists, doesn't mean that that other style both were part of the game in for the 2001 version, and both play styles have had their unique challenges and enjoyments that you can take from them. So there's definitely a place for both, and definitely going to be covering both. So if you don't fret about that, if you're one of those people. And then the other kind of takeaway that I have from it is that now, as far as like for the online side of things, we can spend a lot more of our time trying to fine tune like the leagues or like the rank play or like the marketing side of things that we've been so focused on trying to do all the tech stuff and kind of behind the scenes. We haven't really had time to even like think about that sort the marketing or building the brand side of it.
Basically paused until all this went through just to make sure it all was successful and worked, because we couldn't get ahead of ourselves too much because it was such a big change. But it all seemed to really go through pretty seamlessly. It took a while, but it's great. And then the rBBL is just, the experience is just, I mean, it's like I can't imagine not playing a season of rBBL. It's just so much fun, and it's kind of has that fantasy league element and fantasy manager element and the community and everything. It's just such a great gameplay experience and great way to play backyard baseball. So I don't think that's ever going anywhere. And I mean, you could see it like a lot of the online league players coming over and playing the rBBL. They're having a blast as well now. So it's definitely, like you said, they're definitely two different things.
Yeah, Wizard, do you got any thoughts about any? I know we kind of just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been slowly starting to kind of jump into y'all's online world over there. I joined the server, the Discord channel, not too long, a few months ago, and downloaded before all of this news hit and played a single game with Maddock, who came over into the rBBL server. But I've already signed up for season 3 of online. I'm super excited. I've gotten to watch some games. I definitely think there's a place for both. I think just the style, I mean, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, no one's putting up 20 plus or, very rarely. I looked at season 2's kind of like runs for, runs against type of thing. And over a whole season, people are on the high end around 60. So I just think that it is a really cool experience to be able to play those in real time games against an opponent. And like Jibbo said, the people that have come over, I think, are proof that both leagues can coexist. And even though they're different experiences, you've got maybe not everyone came over and enjoyed our version of it in rBBL, but the majority of the coaches that came over, I think, have had a really good time.
Same here. You're playing season 3 with. I'll be rooting for you. I kind of have a bias towards rBBL players in those leagues, but maybe now that they're all intermingled, maybe I can't really pick and choose who I'm rooting for anymore. Yeah, I'm excited for season 3, and then all the little changes and tweaks that we can make to kind of make the game more fun, more fair. As you know, it is a kids game that they put on for online play, so it's not exactly the most balanced or it was 2001, so they didn't really have tons of esports back then. So it's kind of fun to kind of build that and build the esport out of it or whatever. So we're excited for that. But I think also people need to be excited for another thing coming out. For those of you still listening, get a sneak peek into the Jibbo Open. So Nate, have you heard of the Jibbo Open?
Yes, it's one of my favorite yearly events. I've done the last 2 iterations of it since I've been the part of the rBBL server, and I have to thank the Jibbo Open for allowing me to enjoy Ivan King. So if you I have to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I would not have this Ivan King fandom.
Thanking me? You should be pretty upset with me, probably. The Jibbo Open 5. It's the 5th year. Somehow I've been doing this for 5 years. And I usually try and time it up with the Masters as like this prestigious tour event. That's kind of how it started out, and I just started making new themes every season. But I'm kind of coming back to the roots a little bit for this year. Last year we had the extra hard mode. Basically, Vizri helped me create a mod where the opponents basically just were all fully juiced out boosted. And there was a pretty intense speedrun portion. Speedrun, I guess, which took Itanium 20 hours to complete. So apologies for that. This year we're going to be doing it a little differently. It's going to be challenges, not too unsimilar to like the challenge seasons, but you'll get 3 games. You get a coach file. You get a team featuring a player called Stinky McStinko. His name's actually just Stinko, but you can't fit Stinky McStinko in there. But he is terrible. And there's just going to be, you're going to have a team of players, and you're going to have 15 challenges to try and compete, and we're trying to complete within 3 games. And if you can complete, not all of them, but try and complete as many as you can, you get points for which ones you are able to do. Then at the end of 3 games, submit a video, and then I tally up all the scores, and the winner will get the grand prize, which I haven't decided, but I'm giving out tons of Clanky coins this year. So, oops, if you're listening, tons of Clanky coins. So that's an opportunity for you to win those. We'll see what else I can come up with for fun there. But a little sneak peek on some of the challenges, or some of my favorites. One of them is, in a single game, you have to get a hit with Hot Dog Dante Robinson and Hamburger Dante Robinson. So for those of you who don't know, Dante walks up to the plate. Sometimes he'll eat a hot dog, and sometimes he'll eat a hamburger. So in a single game, you have to get the hit when he walks up with the hot dog, and get a hit when he walks up with the hamburger to get that. We also have got a classic is hitting it into the garbage can at Cement Gardens. That's a 5-pointer. That's the highest point challenge that you can get. And then another fun one is steal a base with 30 steal. So that might be tricky. I imagine it'll be fun, and then with these challenges, it'll be a little bit different, where you're not really grinding for a high score, as more as trying to just kind of complete as many of these challenges as possible while winning the game. I guess you don't have to win, but trying to figure out how to get through a full game and get as many of these challenges as possible, I think it's going to be fun for people.
What I love so much about that, being a 100% completionist type of video gamer, is like, that just sounds like achievements or, gamer score type stuff. And for anyone that played the Mario baseball games, I know if Kiss hears this, Kiss invited me to that server, so thank you. But when you're trying to build those superstars, it's like you're trying to juggle these 5 or 6 challenges throughout the game. Like, all right, I'm trying to get 3 RBIs with so-and-so. I'm trying to get a off-the-wall catch with so-and-so. I really like the idea that you have got these kind of tasks to do instead of, just playing a game for a high score. This really, I think, it's a really creative way to get people engaged in different ways.
As I've done these challenges, learn a little bit about what's fun and what keeps people engaged. And, grinding for high scores, what would generally happen is people would just keep resetting, and then they would, submit their high score, and it would be like this race to the top, and you'd eventually just get it to like 2 or 3 people competing. And hopefully with this one, it'll be more people willing to submit their scores, and more opportunities for those who don't want to just grind it out to get high scores. It'll be fun to see that, and like you mentioned, those achievements, it is pretty much that. So it'll be fun. I think I'm excited to see how it goes. I haven't actually played through and tried my best on these challenges, so I wonder if it's even possible. I know that some of the challenges, I imagine no one's going to complete all of them within the 3 games, but I think all of them are definitely doable.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool kind of concept, and I know there's been here and there's been kind of talk about that, or kind of either having something like that or having a second version of the challenge tour or something. So I think that a lot of people are going to really, really like that. I think another thing that I just thought of this right now, as far as possible Clanky Coin awardment, if somebody can figure out the reasoning when Dante has a hot dog and when he has a hamburger.
We have the code. We can look. My guess is it's just completely random, like coin flip. That's going to be my guess, but there's another reason that would be interesting to see.
But I mean, even if it's just random, it would be cool to actually like know that it's just random, or if there's something like hidden behind the scenes or whatever that we were not expecting.
Yeah, there definitely is times where we learn stuff that is interesting about the game. Like there's some parts of it that are super deep, and other parts are just like, oh yeah, it's just a random number. Like, so, as far as like intelligence ratings and everything like that, it's so interesting to kind of dive deep into the logic and the codes. We'll get our top engineers to look into that one for you.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. You talked about the Masters, Jibbo, and this is a bit off topic, but I have a golden retriever brain. You guys seen the Masters menu?
Yeah.
Like what they serve it. What are y'all going with? What would be your go-to?
It would be the barbecue chicken sandwich, I believe they have.
Okay. $3, $5?
It was like $1.50 or something.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that was kind of weird, like it was so interesting, their menu, the pricing for all like the items they make are like extremely affordable, but then like it went to like chips and like pop cans or whatever, and it was like $1, 75 for a bag of chips, and then it was like $1.50 for like an egg salad sandwich.
Yeah,
it's like because I'm guessing it's because they just get Cheetos or whatever for the chips, and then it costs more that way. But that's awesome. I love seeing the menu, and just one day maybe I'll get lucky and win that tickets lottery and get to go.
So I actually have never seen I didn't even know this was a menu thing was a thing. So I'm kind of just looking it up. So you're talking about like the food menu prices and everything?
Yeah.
Says that their sandwiches are really cheap. $3 for a sandwich.
Everything's really cheap, really. I mean, you're looking at $5 beer. I think it's just because, like, I don't like.
Well, I read that they made $1 million in sales in their merchandise store every hour.
So they can sell a club sandwich for $2.50.
Yeah, if they can sell a Masters hat for like $400, then they can go ahead and just let people not be hungry,
Well, because they've got limited tickets too, so it's not like they're having to feed thousands and thousands. It's like, we know how many we're feeding every year.
Yeah. So, I'd probably, the pork barbecue probably would be my guess. I don't think they have the barbecue chicken, like I said, but chicken salad on honey wheat, yeah, can't beat it. I mean, it's really so nice to see when they don't gouge you on food. Just really, really appreciate that. Gouge people on hats and shirts and stuff, that's great. But, if someone's hungry, I don't want to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably would pick the barbecue. And then I also saw the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich. That would get me. I would at $2.50. I'd be buying like 2 or 3 of those.
Usually when I go places, I'll order something real out of pocket, and then I regret it. So I'd probably let someone else pick for me, to be honest. So that'd probably be what I would end up doing.
You're not like a stick with what you know guy. You're like let me switch it up this time.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Is basically is what we can say about that. So if I have to choose for myself, I'll be like, wow, I don't know, everything on here looks good, but I would just get something completely strange. And looks like they keep it really not simple, but like, classics here. But I'd go to like a restaurant and order like this totally like enchiladas at like a breakfast place or something. Like, I don't know if that's too off frame, but
breakfast enchiladas sound kind of fire.
They do sound fire.
Some hollandaise, there's some,
and they're usually awful because it's a breakfast place
and it's just soggy in
the middle of the Midwest. So, but I don't know any better. I'm not a very smart person, so I'll just pick those 20 things. But Wizard, you didn't tell us what you're getting.
I'm probably going egg salad and a beer. Like, I'm getting out of there for
breakfast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd probably, like Nate, I'd probably try a whole bunch. I mean, I'm an overeater. So, like, if I'm getting out of there with an egg salad sandwich and a chicken biscuit for $3 for both, like, that's kind of crazy.
I'd probably get the Southern cheese straws and then a white wine. And that's what I would choose.
We're probably all looking at different menus. Like, what are these Southern cheese straws?
$2.
It's $2. You can't beat it.
I'm not seeing those.
And a white wine for $6.
Yeah, that's what mine says too.
Okay, yeah, you good. Maybe I'm the idiot. I just Googled Master's menu.
So did I. Yeah, seeing all this menu kind of just like reminds me of like, you know, when you go to like a ballpark and you go to like the stadium food or whatever.
Oh, we have a AAA park here in Oklahoma City, and I went and saw my buddy. I was telling you, Nate, last week. I went and saw my buddy play, and I mean, $12 for a draft beer. Like, $6 hot dog, that's not terrible, but like $12 for a draft beer is just so crazy.
At a AAA, that's a lot.
Yeah, well,
there's my ethics question for you, Wizard. Is it wrong for a man to sneak in a $1 shooter so that they could drink without paying $12 for a beer?
What? No shot. It's bad. My wife and I used to take a flask, like a lot of places. It's like, this'll, you know.
If they aren't going to provide reasonable prices, then I'm not going to play that game. That's my thought.
You know, the thing about ethics, it's like moral reasoning, which is really interesting, is like you can justify like a lot of things. Like, you're not harming anyone by sneaking that shooter in, and really it's kind of self-preservation, because like I'm going to be out on the streets if I'm paying $12 for too many beers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just kind of like the would you steal bread from, you know, someone to feed your family type of deal.
Right. Yep. Or the antidote to cure your sick child.
Yeah, and just so happens to be, you know, a whiskey shooter is the cure. For
a Jim Beam 1.5 ounce shot is the cure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but all this will be won't be a situation once we get the IP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just gonna have to steal it.
And a Jibbo Open menu, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. I should make a menu.
Yeah. All things that you can make in the comfort of your own home, since we all don't live in the same place.
Water sandwiches. And,
a cup of ice water.
Extra ice is a little pricey. And then you also got melted ice drink, so you can do that too. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Slice of bread.
Oh yeah, butter toast is the English. That's a snack for them.
Well, it's even somebody's name.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out to Toast.
Is it the bread toast, or does he like to do toasts?
Both. But I know he has had pictures of the bread toast.
Mm-hmm.
But when he does a lot of his streams, he does, like, in a sense, toast. Cocktail toast.
Very nice.
Surprised you didn't know that, Jibbo.
Yeah, I mean, just asking questions, you know. You never know until you know.
Right. He puts together a lot of really pretty cocktails. We play week 8. And I'm going to have to come up with something. I don't know.
I don't have Instagram, but probably got a bartender channel that we don't know about, like 100 million views.
Yeah, I wonder.
You can bartend the Jibbo Open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do definitely need a drink, a cocktail for this event. It's going to get real classy.
Yeah, I'm wondering if at some point we need to possibly make a backyard Sportscenter Instagram or something.
Yeah, but what we really need to do, sorry for changing the topic again, what we really need to do is have a live event. We got to get everyone flying out.
We need to have like our
Marriott.
Our version of like Comic-Con or whatever.
I think Missouri or Nebraska would probably be the move if I had to guess.
Are there any venues big enough for us?
We're gonna have to rent out the Marriott event center or something.
Well, I could we'll ask the Scum VM team if they can pay for all that and just try and get that to be like a business type expense. I'll just kind of like say, oh, it's a huge Scum VM, but no, it's actually rBBL.
Yeah, it's a huge tax write-off.
Right, that too.
I think we could make it happen. Summer, everyone gets summers off, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's not okay. Sorry, that's just 3 of us and Pepsi.
Yeah, I guess that is the benefit of working at a school.
Yeah, No, definitely. That's something maybe we gotta think about. Plan it far enough ahead. People take a couple of days off, do a nice long weekend,
Yeah, just a weekend.
play some rBBL, have the championship. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah, that would
A live streamed event like an esports arena type.
Shine Bloom is somewhere around the Midwest, I think. Iowa, maybe.
Yeah, I think Iowa.
So, maybe.
I mean, that would
I'm just trying to
be...
think.
That would just blow my mind if, like, we ever got to the point where we could actually, like, pull that off.
Make it happen.
I want to know how many people you'd have actually commit to it. That's, you know.
Yeah, before it turns, like, there's the difference between a meetup and a, like an event or what's it called? Convention. So where do we get, what's the number we can get to? So it's a convention or an event as opposed to just like a meetup, is it above 12, 25?
Yeah, 20 maybe. I think we could for sure. I think you could even get some of the OGs to meet for that.
You know what's awesome is like the Melee community does a ton of this stuff, and one of them is they do it in the Wisconsin Dells, and it's called like Smash and Splash. And I don't know if they have access to the water park or not, but it's like, so it'd be like an event at a fun theme park or something like that. It'd be neat. Little vacation and tournament at the same time.
It'd be nice. I don't know how far St. Louis is pretty centrally located. They've got Six Flags over Mid-America there.
Yeah, I don't know if Six Flags has, like, convention halls, though. That's more like outdoor stuff.
They do. It's probably super expensive.
Yeah, probably.
Dollywood. What's Dollywood?
It's Dolly Parton's theme park.
All right, that sounds great. I'm already in.
It can't be that expensive, right?
It can't be that bad.
Where is that located?
I think it's in Tennessee.
That's pretty central, and a lot of people are in, more eastern side of things.
Are we more eastern?
The West Coasters have to fly. We gotta make them fly.
Yeah, they got the money. They're living in California, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, okay. I think there's a little bit more eastern than the California crew, the late night crew.
Mm-hmm.
I guess more Midwest.
Yeah, I think we kind of, I say we, Oklahoma doesn't ever get lumped into any region.
No one wants Oklahoma.
It's so wild, man.
You're just like a part of Texas that nobody wants.
I consider like us and Kansas and Nebraska maybe, unless you all want to claim them, or we should have our own region just called the flyover region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but a lot of people drive through, fly over.
Yeah, we're definitely centrally located.
How do you guys have a basketball team?
Well, there's probably a 30 for 30 about that. We kind of stole them. Have you heard about that?
No, I know that. St. Louis stole the 1906 World's Fair from Chicago.
Really? I mean,
and we've been ever since. That's why the Cubs hit the Cardinals. But go ahead.
No, I mean our owner, one of our owners, the co-owner, whatever, Clay Bennett, he bought the team in Seattle. And long story short, like there was they didn't want to build them a new arena, but like he didn't say he was going to move them, and then did because they refused to build them a new arena. And we've had them since 2007. So, and Seattle hates us for it.
Yeah, and funny enough, like there was I don't know how true it was or whatever, but like there's this like hidden story or whatever. I don't know how it's like about like how they got their name or whatever. And apparently, like the reason why they chose the Thunder was because there was like this basketball tournament in Oklahoma City, and like the owners really liked, because of like the homeschool team that kind of like is in my area or whatever is called the Thunder. And it was like even in like our city's paper that the Oklahoma City Thunder's name was chosen because of it. So I don't know if that's actually remotely true at all, but it's kind of funny story.
I know we're storm people here, so I don't know. I really don't know, but
the city that they did those noise experiments, where they like had giant speakers, like make this really loud sound every couple hours because they wanted to see if people could stand like living next to like a I don't know what they call it, like a hyperspeed airport, because they were so loud. And people went crazy. I don't know if that was Oklahoma City, but I imagine that's something to do with like thunder, you know.
And speaking of Oklahoma,
we do have a lot of crazy people here.
Speaking of the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are in the play-in tournament.
They sure are. Yeah, they won. They beat Utah last night.
And the Dallas Mavericks and the Utah Jazz are not in.
Googled it, and it even brings us around right back. It was the Oklahoma City Sonic Boom tests. So the fact that the Seattle Supersonics moved to Oklahoma City and then changed their name to the Thunder.
Even more ironic.
Yeah, I thought that's crazy. Yeah, apparently that whole experiment ruined your city, and now it's the way it is.
Oh. What's that supposed to mean?
Well, hey, you're the one. You make the judgments yourself.
This is a fantastic place to live.
As long as it's not cold, let's go.
Oh, yeah. You said you were moving here and our wives will be friends, right? Isn't that what the decision that was made?
Well, that's where my tiger sanctuary is, so.
Right, exactly.
You guys agreed on it in the Discord, so it has to happen, right?
Yeah, I'll talk to my wife. She'll be fine.
We can get them on a Zoom call or something, and just so they're, familiar.
Yeah, I'll just send her a text, be like, hey, we're moving to OKC. Okay, sure, whatever, dude. All right, lit.
We're just going to set up our facility in Oklahoma City. Everyone move there if you want to be part of the team.
Yeah, if you want to actually be a part of this league, you're going to have to really make a commitment here.
To be honest, Texas would be the move because of income tax.
Are there any states that have really high employment or like need more professional backyard baseball players?
Probably like a low populated state.
Just like what are their needs? On that, guys, I got to get going.
Yeah, I heard Hawaii really needs some.
That would be sweet. All right, dudes, I gotta head out. But it was great talking.
Yeah, I know we're kind of getting a little sidetracked at the end, but still, it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, always love these.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Wiz. I'll see you guys around.
And that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks again, Jibbo and Wiz for hopping on, and we'll see you guys in the next episode, which will be the next episode that we record will be the 25th episode of the Backyard Sportscenter podcast. So that's a huge accomplishment. So thanks everyone for supporting everything that we've been doing here. So till next time, see you guys later.